Hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey YouTube. Okay, about a week and a half ago, I put a post out there saying, does anybody have questions? And I wanted to address this one because it's a goodie. She's asking math curriculum or no math curriculum. So let's talk about this. She has 7 kids. Praise the Lord. I love it. I have 5 of my own. Would have had more if I could have. She's got 5 kids and they are ages from 7th-ish grade all the way down to a baby. And her question is, she's hoping to do mastery work over the summer with flashcards, and that they spend most of their days hiking and at the lake, and flashcards are so portable. Have I used them with mastery? And what about songs? And so the first thing is, can she work on math fact mastery portable on the go for fun? That's question number one. Question number two is, she's tossing around the idea of not buying a math curriculum this fall, except for the 12-year-old. He'll be 13, and she loves checking off the boxes, but it feels binding. So let's dig into this a little bit. Absolutely bring flashcards with you, but you don't just do very little, just very little. I did capture the flashcard, which you could do at breakfast as you're getting ready for your hike. And what that would be, I had flashcards. I think they're made by Abeka, that had everything from addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, but it also had things like units of measure and that kind of stuff. So it was fun to ask questions like how many feet are in a mile or how many inches are in a foot, etc. And we did capture the card. So I would flip the card, and if they got it that fast, they got to capture the card. And we would do it for just a couple minutes. And the idea is that over time, they're able to collect cards quicker, right? And they end up with this massive stack of I know my facts. So definitely, definitely, definitely use flashcards to the point of over memorizing. You want to over memorize your basic math facts. So at you can do that at the breakfast table. You can do that on a hike with flashcards. You can do they make these things called math wraps. They're these plastic cards, and I'll add links to these below, but they're these plastic cards that, according to the math fact, if it's 8 times 7, you would wind the thread or the string around it. And when you're all done wrapping all of the facts, you flip it over. And if the strings are lying over in the proper place, then you got the problems correct. But you want to check, because at least one of my children memorized the patterns. So you want to make sure that they actually know their math facts. Yes, you can bring flashcards with you. As we got deeper into homeschooling, I did a lot of schooling that way with my youngest son, and we loved it. But we did it very sparingly. So if I could carry it, I'd put it in my back pocket, and we'd go for a hike. And I would say, okay, you see that? Fill in the blank. You see that stop sign? You see that big rock? You see the bend? When we get there, we're going to stop and do 5 minutes of fill in the blank math, and then we'll go on. So we would hike and talk and play. And then when we would get to that point, we would stop. We'd do a quick flashcard thing or discussion, and then we'd move on. So you're right on task here with working on flashcards and summer, just keeping up with mastery work through this summer. I think that that's a great idea, but I would encourage you to enjoy your relationships with your children more, and know that enjoying the experience and paying attention to what things your kids are drawn toward will give you more of a payoff than just focusing too much on whether or not they know all of their facts this summer. So there's a balance to it, right? When it comes to math curriculum, here's where I'm going to put in a little bit of a plug. If you haven't gone through my 3 stages of homeschool masterclass, I'm going to encourage you to go through that so that you can clearly see where your kids are in the homeschool journey, with your particular ages. So I'm talking to a particular watcher that asked a particular question, and her kids are seventh grade down to baby. You have kids in two of the stages of homeschool, with one that's starting to be able to see the final stage in the distance. So the first stage is all about foundations, learning to read, patterns, tying your shoes, that kind of stuff. The middle section, the fun section, is the flourishing and fun section. But here's the deal, math is one of those things that you're going to need to first know what stages your kids are in. Second, you need to have master homeschool goals in place. If you search on YouTube, a better way to homeschool, master homeschool goals, a video will pop up and I will explain that in more detail. And we go into great detail inside our Homeschooling Olympians program. But you need your master math or your master homeschool goals in place, because with those goals, you will be able to see what your target is. Not all kids are mathematicians. In fact, I would argue that most children are not mathematicians. My scientific pool is five. I have five sons. Only my fourth son is a mathematician brain. Everybody else does the basic math, algebra, up through algebra, but he's the one that went through all the calculus and physics and chemistries and stuff. So you can't hold a mathematician back because they love mathematics, but you need to know what your target is. So our homeschool goal for mathematics was established back in 2012, and that was that all of our children would master their basic math facts: add, subtract, multiply, divide, fractions, decimals, percentages, measurements, that kind of stuff. That they would master their basic math facts by the time they graduated high school. So, with that in mind, takes the pressure off the daily grind of what curriculum should we use, what kinds of things, because really all of the math curriculums teach the same things for arithmetic, which is all of those basic things, which gets you all the way up to high school if you don't rush, and you shouldn't rush math. So, just get arithmetic in. And then as you hit high school, and you look at things like algebra, you need to look through the lens of, is this child a mathematician? How much do they really need to know? Like, those are all part of the master goals. So then I circle back to your question about a math curriculum. The actual math curriculum doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter if you pick this one, that one, the other one. They're all, if you open up the table of contents, they're all very similar. They start with addition, subtraction, then they do multiplication, division, and then the numbers just get bigger as you make your way through arithmetic. And 9 times out of 10, you can look at a math lesson and nod at it and go, I know this, so I can teach it with sidewalk chalk or a dry erase marker. But I personally not dictate. I personally recommend using some math curriculum so that you are walking in a straight line mathematically. You don't have to do all the problems. My kids never did. Even my mathematician never did all the problems. However, math is very sequential, and you want to walk up the staircase mathematically with your child as high as they're supposed to go. So in a way that is strategic and logical. And if you need some math curriculum recommendations, I can absolutely give those to you. But I can tell you, with the math that I've seen, and I've touched quite a few of them myself, and the different ones that people love, it really has to do with the teacher. What do they love? Like, I always wanted color in pictures. It had to be beautiful, because for me, I'm the visual learner. So if your child is not a visual learner, all that stuff is just a distraction, which leads to the last thing. If you don't know how your child learns, how their mind learns and how they remember things, right? What are their superpowers in learning? Then I would recommend that you get a MindPrint for them that is just this activity that they do online. It's about an hour. And then after that hour, there will be we'll call it a report that will show you what their superpowers are in learning, and I can even walk you through what those mean. So I'll add those links down below. So just to kind of sum it all up, yes, take math on the road, but keep it fun and keep it short. Better to do 2 or 3 minutes a day than to do an hour on the trail. Like, enjoy the trail, enjoy the hiking, enjoy the swimming, enjoy the beach, enjoy the museum, but then just sprinkle in a little bit. That's an excellent strategy, and it'll trickle down. The little kids, your toddler, first grade, second grader, they'll soak up all that stuff too. Songs are powerful, powerful. I always looked for songs with mathematics, and it's a personal preference. You have to find ones that don't sound like fingernails on a chalkboard, because there's some really bad ones. But sometimes it's the really bad songs that make the difference. My goal was always to find songs that would get stuck in the kids' heads. Secret pro tip. So flashcards, take them on the go. Look for skip counting songs and math songs that can help those concepts get in. Math curriculum, get your master homeschool goals set first, and then I would recommend a math curriculum. My favorite vendor for the arithmetic stuff is Evan Moor, and I'll drop that link down below as well. I like their stuff because it's just enough. And since you're already toying with the idea of not really using a lot of curriculum, I would recommend them because they have, it's just enough daily practice. There's a lot with math, especially for your older, that you would want to focus not just on mastery, but also the ability to write your math neatly and to go through that process, because there's different parts of your brain that are lit up when you do those things. So I think it's a super, super exciting summer that you have. Enjoy your kids, though. Make sure that the building of the relationships is your highest priority, which I can tell it already is. But yes, sprinkle learning in, because you never step away from learning. The lifelong learning is just that. We never really called it, well, as I got older and grayer, we stopped calling it school as much as just learning. And we're always learning, right? So you want to carry that attitude with you that, yes, you can practice your addition and subtraction and multiplication on top of a mountain or on the side of a beach, and it can still be fun, right? Make it a game. And speaking of games, find mathematic games that your kids love. Yahtzee is a great game for multiple ages and stages. So I think that's it. If you have more questions, let me know. That was a really fun question. And look in the descriptions for the links to the things that I talked about. And yeah, let me know if anybody else has any questions, because that was really fun to answer. Bye.